News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, we begin with the breakthrough in the Middle East. After weeks of negotiations, threats, and counter-threats, the U.S. and Iran now say they have reached an interim deal to put more than 3 months of war on hold. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz, says the deal will not provide immediate sanctions relief to Iran.
This is going to be, in terms of any unfrozen assets or sanctions relief, what's called pay for performance. There will not be upfront cash, so to speak, that we saw in the Obama deal and the JCPOA with literally pallets of cash because the Iranian banking system was dysfunctional being flown in.
UN Ambassador Mike Waltz appeared on ABC's This Week, heard Sundays on Bloomberg Radio. Bloomberg Middle East correspondent Abir Abu-Omar reports the details of the agreement still have not been released.
What we know so far is that the deal right now will ensue the immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, where tankers can go back to their movement. Now, there are some caveats there. And the other thing is that 60 days of an extended ceasefire will ensue afterwards, where both sides will take part in technical negotiations about mainly the state of Iran's nuclear program.
Bloomberg's Abir Abu-Omar reports President Trump pushed for the deal by his 80th birthday yesterday. Both sides now plan to sign it this Friday in Switzerland. Iran says it will release the text of the agreement then, and even as he celebrated the deal, President Trump told the New York Times he could restart military attacks if Iran does not reach an agreement on its nuclear program.
Well, Nathan, one factor that could complicate the deal is Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government launched new attacks on Lebanon yesterday, hours before the agreement was announced. This morning, Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz says Israeli forces will remain in security zones in Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza for as long as necessary. Well, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir posted on X that Israel is not bound by the U.S.-Iran deal, and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich added his own X-post saying the deal is, quote, bad for Israel and for the entire free world.
Well, right now, Karen, we are seeing positive reaction in equity markets to the U.S.-Iran agreement. And in Europe, the Stoxx 50 is up 1.3%. U.S. futures are in rally mode as well, led by NASDAQ futures up 2.1%. S&P futures are 1.3% higher, and Dow futures have a 1% gain.
And as expected, Nathan, oil is dropping on the latest developments. Right now, NYMEX crude oil is down 5.6% at $80.16 a barrel. Brent is down more than 5% at $82.85. However, analysts are warning it could take months to fully restore oil and gas flows in the Strait of Hormuz. They say a deal will ease the risk to supply and continued upward pressure on prices, but rebuilding confidence among ship owners, insurers, and refiners will take longer.
And now President Trump, Karen, is on his way to the G7 meeting in France, and he's reportedly threatening France with 100% wine tariffs. The president told the New York Post he'd have no choice if France doesn't drop its digital tax on U.S. tech companies. Bloomberg's Ben Sills says this puts French President Emmanuel Macron in a difficult position.
Having Trump come out attacking the French tech taxes at this point is going to be a real bump in the road for Macron. He is due to have a bilat with Trump at 5 o'clock this afternoon our time, shortly after Trump arrives in Evian. So we'll get a sense of how much trouble that's going to cause pretty quickly, I think.
And Bloomberg's Ben Sills notes Macron's invited a group of technology executives, including OpenAI's Sam Altman, to a lunch on the summit's final day.
Nathan, there's a crackdown on social media in Europe. Britain is banning people under 16 from using a range of social media apps. And we go to London and get the latest with Bloomberg's James Wilcock. James, good morning.
Good morning, Karen and Nathan. I'm not prepared to compromise on children's happiness or safety. Those are the words of Prime Minister Keir Starmer as he announces new rules due to come into force next year that will stop under 16s from accessing social media and a number of other gaming platforms reforms. It marks the start of a crunch week for the Prime Minister. He heads to a potentially embarrassing G7 summit after his Defence Secretary quit last week, and his leadership rival, Andy Burnham, could enter Parliament later this week if he wins a vote in North West England. In London, James Woolcock, Bloomberg Radio.
James, thanks. Back here in the U.S., the countdown is underway for the parade for the NBA champion New York Knicks, and the celebration's expected to draw millions. Bloomberg's Alexis Christoforous is in New York with the very latest. Alexis.
Well, Nathan, city officials say it could be the largest turnout for a parade in Big Apple history. Millions of Knicks fans are expected to line the parade route Thursday morning to cheer on their beloved championship team in the once-in-a-lifetime experience. The ticker tape parade is going to kick off at 10 a.m. Wall Street time and run from Battery Park north 1 mile up the Canyon of Heroes to City Hall, where Mayor Mamdani will host a celebration fit for champions.
It is a chance for this entire city to celebrate this team that has given us so much. We're going to have a ceremony at City Hall. We're going to be presenting our administration's first keys to the city, to the team.
It will be the first Knicks ticker tape parade in franchise history. During the team's 1970 and 73 championship wins, then Mayor John Lindsay suspended the city's sports parade tradition. If you plan on attending, city officials recommend showing up hours before that 10 a.m. start time. No word on whether the celebration at City Hall will require tickets or how they'll be distributed. From New York Knicks Nation, Alexis Christoforous, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.